Hey guys, it's Jen and it's time for What's in It Wednesday. Woohoo! Alright, so this is the third week. So today we're talking about one of the ingredients. It's in Shakeology's proprietary protein blend. So what we're going to talk about today is called Amaranth. And it is actually a super cool little ingredient. And I'm learning all kinds of cool stuff because this Shakeology is full of the coolest stuff. All right, so amaranth is actually not a grain. It's a lot like quinoa, so it's actually a seed. And it's native to Peru. It was one of the staples of the Aztec diets back in the day, Columbus and all that stuff. So it's actually I would consider it a renewable vegetable that really doesn't have, not a vegetable, but a renewable grain that doesn't have an impact on our world the way that, say, corn does, because one plant can make 60,000 little seeds. So you don't actually have to plant a lot of them to get a huge crop out of them. So that to me is a benefit, because sometimes things like wheat and corn, you have to plant huge plots of it to get a decent amount of growth from it. So that is amaranth. Okay, so we're going to go through some of the benefits of amaranth and why the brilliant people in the Shakeology lab would have put it in the blend. All right, so the first thing, amaranth is gluten-free. So for people who have celiac disease or gluten sensitivities, it's really important for them to stay away from gluten. So just like quinoa, amaranth is gluten-free. Okay, it can actually help you lower your cholesterol. So cholesterol is not necessarily the doomsday thing that we always thought it was, but it's not an indicator of a good and healthy life. So if you have an opportunity to lower your cholesterol, it's going to make your heart happy. So it reduces your LDL levels and even triglycerides. Number 3. Inflammation. It uses anti-inflammatory properties of peptides and oils to ease pain and reduce inflammation. So that's really important for people who have diabetes and heart disease and stroke, because inflammation is where we used to think cholesterol was the big bad dirty thing. Inflammation is actually what is really negative for your health, because when your arteries get inflamed, your heart gets inflamed, everything starts to go bad. 4, cancer. The same peptides that are helpful for lowering your cholesterol and reducing your inflammation can actually reduce your likelihood of getting cancer. There's lots of antioxidants in the grain that help prevent damage that can lead to cancer. So that is a big help. Blood pressure. So because it has so much fiber in it, it has a huge amount of fiber, which is helpful in, like, people in North America need to be getting a lot of fiber, and we are not getting a lot of fiber because a lot of the grains that we eat are refined and all of the good stuff is being stripped out of it. We need a lot more fiber in our diet than we're eating. So the fiber that's in it lowers blood pressure because it tackles cholesterol, inflammation, and it's just all around good for your body. Protein. The protein in amaranth is kind of crazy. So kind of like quinoa, where it has a ton of protein, and you wouldn't think it does looking at it as a grain, but a cup of uncooked amaranth has 26 grams of protein in it. That's kind of nuts, because if you looked at a cup of uncooked white rice, it's 13 grams. So it's got twice as much protein in it as a regular grain. So that to me is a big powerhouse, because when you're building muscle, you need lots of protein, and sometimes you don't feel like eating steak and fish and Greek yogurt and all that stuff. It's nice to get it in other ways. And it's a lot more digestible in that form than, say, milk products. So when you're trying to get extra protein in, it's a lot easier to eat it in this form. Lysine. Number 7 is lysine. Lysine is an amino acid that is often lacking in a lot of grains that people eat. It's just not in a lot of stuff, but it is in amaranth. Lysine is important because it helps your body absorb calcium. So we talked before, I believe it was about folic acid. I'm not sure. I don't remember. That something else that's in Shakeology helps deal with bone density and bone health. Well, absorbing calcium is how women especially deal with osteoporosis and lack of bone density, because that's where your bone strength comes from, is calcium. But if your body can't absorb the calcium that you're drinking and eating, then it is not doing you any good. So lysine is kind of the key to unlocking calcium in your diet. It helps you produce energy from the food you're eating and build muscle. And when you're working out, we're trying to build muscles. Woo! All right, fiber, like I said before, amaranth is a huge source of fiber, which means it's good for your digestive health. And what do I mean by digestive health? It means your guts are regular, the way that they're supposed to be. And it makes you full. Being full is the key, because it keeps you from snacking on silly things that you shouldn't be snacking on. It also, like I said, decreases your blood pressure, decreases cholesterol, and it slows the absorption of sugar, because even if we eat a totally clean diet, there is sugar in stuff, just natural sugar. Like there's sugar in milk, and there's sugar in fruit, and there's sugar in grain. But high fiber slows down the absorption so that your blood doesn't spike, and that doesn't feel good. All right, minerals. Amaranth is a super rich source of minerals. Calcium, so like we're going to be able to actually absorb the calcium because of the lysine, but there's actually calcium in this. There's magnesium and copper. It's a huge source of zinc, potassium, phosphorus, and iron. A cup of uncooked amaranth has 82% of your daily dose of iron. That is intense. That is a lot of spinach. And iron is something that people really... I think there's a lot of people who have iron problems. And if you've ever been anemic and your doctor has ever prescribed you iron pills or liquid iron, it tastes like you're sucking on a penny, and it is awful. So if you could get it in a tasty version other than medicine, A, cheaper, and B, way tastier. Vitamins. So not only is it super rich in minerals, it's super rich in vitamins. It's a good source of vitamin A, C, E, K, B5, B6, folate, and riboflavin. So all of these together act as antioxidants. They increase your energy level, they control your hormones, which in turn controls your mood, and it does so much more. So instead of taking a multivitamin, which is processed and broken down and packaged into a tiny little pill and you're really not sure what's in it, why not just have some amaranth? Because that's got all the stuff you need right there in a grain. It boosts your immune system. And I live in Canada, and the cold season in Canada is wicked because it's cold and damp and ridiculous here in the winter. And I want to do everything I can to boost my immune system because I hate being sick. It kills my groove. So, immune system. It's because of how many vitamins and minerals in it. It will boost your immune system because you're fueling your body the way that you're supposed to. All right. Last but not least, and I know that this will speak to some people, amaranth helps prevent the appearance of premature gray hair. We'll just let that settle for a second. Think about if you could delay your hair going gray, or if your hair is going gray, slow down the progress. I know that it's not, and some people look absolutely stunning with gray hair, but there are a lot of people in the world who are like devastated when they see their first gray hair. So why not do something other than Clairol, which is really a lot of poisons you're just pouring on your head, to slow that down. That I did not know. That is very cool. I had no idea that a grain could do that. All right, so look forward to next week. I'm really excited. This stuff is getting me super fired up. I started drinking Shakeology because of the taste, but this is proving to me that there is stuff in there that is unbelievable and is doing my body good. All right, if you have any questions or if you have a suggestion of an ingredient that you'd like me to cover next week, let me know. Thanks, bye.